Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's Profit Maximizer Moment. Yes, I'm wearing my Boston shirt. It's opening day for baseball, and I'm a big Red Sox fan. Grew up in the Massachusetts area. Anyways, one of the biggest complaints I hear all the time is it's probably number one on the list of problems that business owners bring to me. My revenues is up. My revenues are up. So why am I broke? Revenues is a number everyone celebrates. My sales are up. My top line is up. It's the one you tell people at dinner. How's business? Yeah, I'm up 10%. I'm up 20%. Problem is, that's not what you should be concentrating on. You should be concentrating on profits first. Why? Profits are what you take home, right? It's the difference between looking busy and being successful, all right? Most business owners were really not taught the difference between the two. Remember, revenue sales is a vanity number. Hey, I'm doing well. My revenue is up. All right. Most business owners are only watching that. Profit is sanity and reality. All right. If you're making a good profit, you're doing well. I got a client that went from, they sold off part of their business, kept their top 10 clients, went from sales of around 3 to 4 million to about 800,000, doubled their profit. Why? They didn't have the overhead, they didn't have as many people. It really is simple. So, what do you want? Do you want a $4 million business making $100,000? Or you want an $800,000 business making 300,000? It's kind of an easy question, right? Look, revenue feels like progress. As it goes up, you think things are working, but revenue can go up while profit goes down. You really see it all the time. You land a big contract, but you have cash flow problems because now you have to pay for the material. You got to bring more people on. You don't get paid for 45 to 60 days, so you put it on credit card with a higher interest. You got new people you've got to train, and they don't do the job anywhere near as efficient as you used to, so your profit margins go down. Um, who knows? You might double your revenue, but your expenses go up at least that, if not more. So you're working harder, doing more work, not making more money. That's a problem. So if remember what we talked about before, cash is king. All right. So if the revenue isn't making your cash balance go up, that's a sign something's wrong. It could be anything. You're not collecting your receivables well enough. Your cost went up. Your cost good. You're not doing well on efficiency with people. Maybe your material costs are higher and you're not controlling it. You're more of it's in inventory. You don't have good credit terms, so you're not moving fast enough. All right. Uh, so again, the problem is not revenue. The problem is that you're not looking at what's left after expenses. Remember, profit is the one thing that actually determines if you get paid. I've heard this a lot of times. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm working harder, got more income, and I have to skip the last three paychecks. All right. And I've seen it. I mean, I've seen businesses with multi-million dollars in sales not be able to pay themselves. I got a client I can remember, they're doing about 4 million in sales, and they're basically broke. All right, because they're making too many mistakes, and really, revenue wasn't really the problem. It's not knowing your numbers, not being able to manage your business. Have somebody in the same industry that started much later than them caught up to them on pretty much the same revenue, but really good profits. No, they don't like paying their taxes. Everybody doesn't like to pay their taxes. I get that. I was like, I made more money. Yeah. So you're going to pay more. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do to reduce that. That's not today's topic, but you can't eliminate it. Sorry. Contrary to popular opinion, the rich do pay tax. So everything that comes in the door, top sales, top line, that's great. And like I said, most owners know that, but very few know their profit margin. I've asked that question. I had somebody new coming in yesterday, and they had kind of rough numbers, but I'm like, so how much do you know your profit? And they say, well, yeah, we should. Our cost of goods sold is a little less than half. Okay, do you know that by product? No. Why not? Because when it comes down, and they did to a degree, but and they're not. I don't mean to pick on them because I've got other people who did the same thing. So well, yeah, I'm running at 40. 6%, but one month is 48%, the next one is 52%, then it's back down to 46%. Why? Well, it's product mix. All right. So things that you have a lower profit margin on, you're selling more of in 1 month, or things you have a higher profit margin in, you're selling less of. So you need to know that. All right. Uh, this is where this is takes work. I mean, look, if you're selling, but your profits aren't increasing and you're working harder, well, you have trouble paying your taxes. That's usually a clue to me. Yeah, I made a bunch of money. I don't have the money to pay the taxes. Why? What's going on? You had a revenue, but you didn't keep it. All right. The idea of a business isn't to take in a bunch of income with your left hand and then pay it all out with your right hand and have a couple pennies fall down. I mean, literally, you should be making some good money. It's simple as that. All the revenue, all the top line sales and revenue tells you is you're active, you're busy. All right. Profit tells you the business is working. Well, very few companies can do like Amazon did, where they lost money for the first 15 years, but they were building infrastructure, but they had investments, they had everything going. And you see the platform they put together now, they're making tons of money. That's very few small businesses can work on that model. I don't know a single business I've worked with in the last 40 some odd years that could lose money for 15 years. All right. Yeah, that's a different market. That's big boy business with people that have some funding. Uh, so if you don't know your profit margin and you don't know what your taxes are going to be, you don't know what your expenses are, you can't make good decisions, all right, because you're uneasy, you're nervous. I can't buy this piece of equipment I need because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have enough money to pay for it. I can't get the facility I need. All right, I'm in a place that's cramped where we don't have enough room for us to get the work done that I just picked up. But I can't get into a new spot because my finances don't show. I can't get a loan. I can't get a line of credit or a loan because it just won't work. Okay. Bank won't give it to me because I'm not showing the profits. All right. So remember what profit is, first of all. And remember, having a good profit changes everything. But it's revenue minus cost of goods sold minus expenses. What's left at the bottom? So if you don't know and if your books are a mess, like many that we pick up, and even some that are decent, still don't give a good picture, that's the first thing. You need to clean it up so that you really can look at what's happening and understand what's happening. Okay. So that's the first thing. You have to know, you have to run your business on what's left. Now, I'll be honest, it sounds backwards, but it forces you to see real numbers immediately, not at the end of the quarter, not at tax time. Every single time money comes in, you need to look at what's left. Okay. Uh, what this looks like in practice, money comes in and a percentage goes to profit account before anything else. There's a book out there, uh, Profit First. Can't remember the guy's name. You know, hey, give me a minute, I'll find it. We got time. Nobody's going anywhere. And if you do, I apologize. Anyways, I'm a strong proponent of his system. Profit First. Yeah, by Mike. Wow, I could never say his name. Mike Michalowicz. You can find it on Amazon. Michalowicz. What he's basically saying is, I collect a dollar. If I want to make 10% as a profit, I put that 10% aside. I put $10. I put 10 cents aside. All right. And then if I know my taxes on that 10 cents, let's make it easier. $100. All right. I put $10 in a profit account. Out of that profit account, if I know the taxes are going to be 20%, I take $2 and move it into a tax account. Now what's left, the business has to live on. It seems backwards, and it says I can't do that. Well, of course you can. If you can't, that means your profit margins aren't where they need to be. Well, I can't raise my prices. That's not true. I've seen every business that's ever told me they couldn't raise prices, there's a way to do it. Now, that's beyond the scope of this one. So, but think about what I just did. I'm forcing the business to live on what's left so that I take my profits out first, which could be in the form of my paycheck, could be in the form of my draws. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's technicalities. I'm saying this business has to be able to pay me a profit and live on the rest. I'm doing that first. And that's what I said. The Profit First book is a great one to pick up. I think it's interesting because it turns business around. Because so what happens? Money comes in, a percentage goes to the profit account, owner pay gets its own accounts funded consistently, tax money gets set aside automatically, operating expenses run on what's left, which forces you to be intentionally looking at how to control expenses, if or how to increase my sales price. As simple as that. You don't have a choice. It also it's really not magic. It's simple math. I mean, I got to decide how I'm going to work on it. So this is the opposite of what most business owners do. Most business owners take what's left and call it profit. Doing the profit first approach, and like I said, that's a book worth getting. I mean, this I just looked it up because I knew it was out there. I just couldn't remember who did it. Like I said, it's Mike Michalowicz. Thought my name was bad. I'll say it again, Mike Michalowicz. Just go to Amazon or do it on Google. Just say "Profit First" book, and you'll find it. Because the idea is instead of saying I'll take what's left, Profit First flips that and says you take your profit first and run the business on what's left. It will work. I've done it myself. I know it will work. Plus, I've done it with other people. So to recap, revenue top line sales is what we look at. Everybody looks at that. Profit is a number that determines whether you can actually get paid. If taxes are current. You can get good employees and pay employees. Big difference. I've hired people in the past because I could only afford a certain amount. I got the quality I paid for. This time here, hired a CPA. I've hired a couple of good CPAs with a lot of experience. Paid them what they needed. Paid them what it took to get them here. Paid off, both times. All right, that I did that. The 5 or 6 people I hired before because that's all I could afford. None of them worked out. One's been with me 5, 6 years. I can see the one I just hired in January. It's already making my life easier. We'll be here a while. All right. Why? Because you now have the profit to be able to do that. Now, if you bring somebody in, what does that have to do? Well, it cut my profit. So I have to bring in other business or cut down my time, whichever. All right. Um, if you've been growing revenue but feel stuck, it's not a failure. Don't beat yourself up. I run into that all the time. Don't beat yourself up. It's a signal. It's a warning sign. It's a big flashing yellow light saying, "Hey, we got a problem over here." All right. So the system needs to change, not you. If this sounds like something that you're dealing with and you want to see what this looks like, give me a call. Next week. This week's a disaster. So next week, we'll set up an appointment either before or after tax season. Uh, 30 minutes. We'll look at your real numbers, help you get there. You can go to my calendar. It's being moved, but shoot me an email. My email is Wayne at wjb-cpa.com. You can easily shoot me an email on that, and we'll set up an appointment. Also, of course, I finally settled on a date. I was being stupid and trying to do it on April 8th and April 15th. I'm an accountant. What the hell am I thinking? So we're going to do it April 22nd, and that's when we're going to start 13-week course. Which, if this is one of your problems, we'll definitely dig into your numbers and get there. Hey, until next time, this is Wayne Belisle saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend. God bless, and see you at church. Thank you.